Hey, welcome back. This is Rick Garza here to talk to you again about the character, the habits, and the life of a professional sales athlete. You know, we're fast approaching the NBA Finals, and with that, we are looking at professional athletes in the field of basketball that are at the top of their game. You see, we're looking at athletes who, over the years, have dedicated themselves to stand out above the rest day after day, week after week, month and year after year in being able to develop the character and the habits and the lifestyle of that professional athlete. But the same thing applies to you and me in the world of professional sales athletes. And we step back and are in awe at how they've accomplished that. And if I was a professional, wanted to be a professional athlete, I would take the time to find out what did they do in order to achieve those results. Well, as professional sales athletes, we need to do the same thing. We need to step back and look at our peers, those who have achieved those results, and ask them, study them, and look at how they have done things in order to achieve those results that we strive to attain. The whole goal in the world of professional sales athletes is to be your best. Only one person can be number one, but you can be your best if you commit yourself to the character, the habits, and the lifestyle. Today, we're going to be talking about the character trait of creativity. And the standard definition that we'll use in order to measure ourselves against that is taking a new approach or a new perspective at a problem in order to drive different results. You know, if you're not getting the results that you are wanting or that the company is expecting, then you need to step back and say, okay, I am not achieving what I need to achieve, so how can I take a different approach, a different perspective? And there are myriads of stories within the athletic field of people who have taken a different approach to how they achieved and accomplished and won the game of sports. But there are also different people out there who took this creativity, they saw a problem, and they used creativity in order to drive different results. You know, if you go back into the 1800s, there's a gentleman that I've grown with deep respect, George Washington Carver. He was born 5 years right before the Civil War was about to end, and so born into slavery in the South, and has a life story that if any of us lived it, he had a lot of reasons, or we would have had a lot of reasons to feel sorry for ourselves. But George Washington Carver lived with this passion for creativity, and the creativity that he had was, how can I learn more about nature? He had this relationship with God and realized that if he studied nature, it could open up the door for him in so many different areas, but he didn't quite fully grasp how. So with a lot of creativity, a lot of determination, and a lot of support from people who loved him, he was able to get his high school, his college, and his master's degree at a time when a black African American was a very rare and very difficult thing to achieve. But in that achievement, he set a standard for other people to follow. But he had this creativity of saying, how can I help those that helped me? So he went back to Tuskegee Institute and began to teach the farmers a different creative way of how to rotate their crops, so that way the nutrients in the ground become more useful year after year. And instead of just growing cotton, he taught them how to grow cotton, peanuts, and soybeans, and it changed the world, and it revolutionized everything that had to do with farming to get the most out of that land. He used creativity. Now, how can you use creativity? By taking things from a different perspective, a different approach, in order to drive the results that you want. You know what the results are. You need to step back and say, okay, how can I take a different approach? Well, let me give you a couple of ideas. One is, how can you reach out to those who have achieved already and get ideas from them, gain perspectives? How could you create a group of men and women who can support each other, to challenge each other to be your best? You know, there's a lot of ways to be creative, but the number one thing that's going to make or break it is your willingness to take a different approach in order to drive the results you've always wanted to achieve. So this morning, today, I challenge you to be the professional sales athlete that you know you can be, and start off today by asking yourself, how can I take a different approach, take a risk, take something that I've not done before in order to achieve the results that I've always wanted to have. You have a great day and make it happen. Bye-bye.